Welcome to the Crush It in Sales podcast. I'm your host, Melinda Van Fleet. This podcast focuses on the intersection of sales, leadership, and personal development. Now let's get ready to dig in and crush it. Hi, everyone. This episode is jam-packed with goodies from my friend, Theresa Pantanella. She is an online marketing expert. Her website is rightawayleads.com, and she's owner of Pantanella Enterprises. She is going to be diving into so many great things. She's going to be talking about Facebook ads and why you should jump in right now, what you should do to build a strategy around that, how you should monitor it, how much time it takes. And she even shares 3 mistakes that most people make about running Facebook and Instagram ads. So again, lots of goodies. We also talk about niching, which is something that drives me crazy. So I appreciated that thought process from her and her sharing. I hope you love this episode, and we will begin now. Thanks. Hi, everyone. I am super excited. Today I have a special guest. Her name is Theresa Pantanella, and she is the owner of Pantanella Enterprises, and her brand is Right Away Leads. Right Away Leads is a full-service digital creative agency, and I wanted to have Theresa on because with everything going on out there, some of us are really digging in, which you should be, and looking at your business, trying to figure out, is it time to level up? Should I level up? Should I start working on side hustles? Or I have this potential side hustle I need to do a better job with. There's so much opportunity there. And I just thought this was a great opportunity to have Theresa on my podcast. Time to reach out, time to analyze, time to study. And with no further ado, I'm going to introduce Theresa, and she can tell us a little bit about herself, her background, and her brand. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Melinda. Thank you for having me. And I applaud your audience for having the desire to improve their sales and leadership and their desire to grow themselves. So I know if they're here and listening, that's what they're choosing to do with their time. It's they obviously care about having a successful business and are willing to do what it takes to have it.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for being on the podcast. I really appreciate your time.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. And for the listeners, when you consistently want more sales, specifically online sales, there's different items you can do that really make an impact. And I'm going to show you this morning 3 easy ways to easily increase your sales online so that your business can grow. And because you're the kind of people who know that maximizing your online sales is vital for your business, I'm going to share an easy and affordable way for you to master the skills. Because I started this 6 years now, online marketing, and I started producing videos. The videos, when they came out, my clients didn't know what to do with them. I didn't know what to do with them other than give them the video. So
that sounds like me.
All thumbs on a website, right?
Right, totally.
Right. So I learned about websites and building the websites and how to maximize the search engine optimization of that website so that Google could find the website and the video. I spent 18 months in a mastermind mastering those skills. And in that mastermind, I met a woman who was really, really good with social media. I was intrigued. It was the creative part that served me because, making the videos, producing those was a real creative process. Doing SEO on a website was a really technical process. And although I mastered it, it was not fun for me. But the social media was back in that creativity lane where I really blossomed. Learning how to use the social media to push sales and advertising and to create a relationship with buyers online, again, that's where I flourished. And that's where I've focused for the past 3 years. Like you, Melinda, and like some of the listeners out there, those online sales are being done and fumbling and learning where to start. Man, that just
And that's what I was just going to ask you. Like, how do you start? Like, if someone came to you as like, hey, I've got this side hustle idea, I want to get going. Like, how do they start working with you? Because when I look at your website, which is awesome, it's rightawayleads.com, it looks like you are soup to nuts. Like, you can help everyone with everything, which is amazing. But how would you start if you're a newbie, like someone like me, let's say, starting on another job?
If you're starting on another job, you really want to define what problem you're solving. What problem are you solving in terms of who are you serving? Like, most people say, well, everybody wants my product. You'll hear for example, you'll hear life coaches say, everyone needs my help.
Right. Yes.
When David Ogilvy was hired by Mercedes-Benz, he's one of the leading advertising gurus in America. And I study these advertising gurus a lot. Because if you're in marketing, you've got to know how to market. Even if it's online sales, you still have to know how to market. He spent 3 months with Mercedes-Benz before he wrote a single line of ad copy, before he designed a single graphic, before he designed a single advertisement. Because he needed to know what was the message, what problem was Mercedes-Benz solving, and whose problem were they solving? Well, Mercedes-Benz wanted to solve the idea of having luxurious transportation for a very distinct small audience, an audience of a higher level of income. So their message had to be one of status, the status of owning a Mercedes-Benz. So when you're getting started, you need to define who that audience is. Like, what state are they in? What makes a difference in their day, in their daily effort? What changes for them before they have your product or service or afterwards? For example, one of my clients has baking supplies, and you could buy it from her online. She didn't know who she was serving. So we started to look at some different audiences for her. We looked at parents of preteens, Girl Scouts earning their cooking badges. We looked at moms with 5-year-olds at home, 5 to 7-year-olds. And you know what really took? Was the preteens. Talking to those pre-teenagers, not the parents, talking to the pre-teenagers about learning how to cook.
My niece is in that bucket, so that's a good example.
Isn't that? And right now, I want to implore the audience to think about the state of mind people are in, because right now we're in a very unique time. And acknowledging that a parent has more time on their hands with their children, or they're trying to create quality time with their children right now while the kids are at home and they're at home. Talk about that in your message.
Yeah.
Be that person for them. And one of the ways I really get into this is in my morning routine. My morning routine, Melinda, I like to get up and do my meditations, sit with my apple cider vinegar drink or my healthy drink, and really think about my audience. What is the message I'm going to give them? And sometimes I'll just sit and meditate on, okay, if I'm at home with my kids right now, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? What's going through my head? And I'll start to research on the web, magazines that person might be looking at. Because you know what? A pre-teenager is not looking at Southern living. A single mom at home is probably looking at a magazine like Allure, or they're looking at Oprah. They're looking at Simple Living.
Home. Yep.
You know, when you go to these magazines and you start to think like that person, then you can relate to that person.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like for me as a marketer, I need to stop and do this in order to get into the message. But for your audience, when you're serving people out of passion, you're walking the walk with them. And coming up with that message for them becomes really easy.
I really appreciate that you shared about Ogilvy and then about taking your time and thinking, and also with meditation, because often some of these courses, and I'm going to relate back to that because I've done so many courses, they want you in module 1 to come up with your niche and your brand and your target audience. And that's module 1. And then you move on. It doesn't happen that fast.
No, it certainly does.
So it's so refreshing to hear you talk about that. And then there's so much pressure with that too. It's like, oh, you got to figure that out, and you've got to get this niche, and you got to do this and that, and then there's like lots of pivoting and thinking and changing and trying to figure it out.
Right. It's a process.
Yes. And I'm not perfect at it even myself. And I've been at this for a while, and I still feel like I've got little bits to learn and try to fine tune my marketing message. So
absolutely.
So thank you for bringing that up. It's my biggest frustration. I just signed up for another course in February, and 2. It was my 2 courses that I planned for first quarter. And both module 1s. Figure out your niche. You should have your niche nailed down. You should have your perfect customer nailed down. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like not so easy for everybody. So
it's a task. Mm-hmm. It's truly a task. And what's really cool with online advertising is you could start to play with who's responding to it. I encourage the listeners to set up what I call their Kelley Blue Book on their ads. When you're out car shopping, there used to be this thing called Kelley Blue Book. Now there's this thing called Carfax. And that's how you know the car you're looking at, the value of it, the features, if it's going to work for you or not. Mm-hmm. Well, as an advertiser, when you're using online ads, you could set up your own thermostat, your own Carfax for your ad to know if your ad's working or not. And you do this by going to business.facebook.com. These business accounts are where Facebook will tell you who's responding to your ad, if they like your message or not. And you can put many ads in there so that your audience gets to know you and like you and trust you. A business account is, it's it's your Carfax. If your ad's working or not, it's your Kelley Blue Book. It's your thermostat. And one of the best things you can do when you're coming with that message is you'll know in 3 days on that tool, you'll know if that message is working or not. But don't think.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, don't think about it. Just if it's not working, just stop it. Mm-hmm. Don't keep spending money thinking it's going to get better.
And is that tool free for people to use?
Yeah.
How does that work? Okay.
Business.facebook.com. If you are already logged into your Facebook account, Facebook will immediately pick up that login information. If you are not logged into your Facebook account, you must use that login information to set up your business.facebook.com account, because Facebook does not allow a business account that's not attached to or connected with a personal account.
Gotcha.
So if you try to set it up with a totally different login than your Facebook personal account, Facebook's going to say, no, this needs to be connected to your personal account. What's your personal account?
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. Definitely.
Yeah, because you want to use these different messages, whether it be talking to your audience about the current state they're in, and like with the car dealerships, they're rolling out beautiful advertisements about 3 months with no payment, 3 months, they may take on the payments themselves. They're acknowledging that you may need a car and you're not in the right position to do that right now because of the economy.
Mm-hmm. Didn't you say when we were on the pre-chat the other day about Facebook ads and the pricing just being so sharp right now and such a great opportunity to jump in to start doing something like this?
Absolutely, Melinda. Thank you for bringing that up. I did read an article this morning that again underscored, even Mark Zuckerberg is saying Facebook ads, it's an auction. So if the big advertisers have pulled out, because think about it. In an auction, if you've got big payers in there, billionaire companies, and they're buying up the ad space, it becomes very difficult for smaller businesses to compete.
Mm-hmm.
And the ad costs are high because there's big payers in the room that are bidding on that auction spot. Right now, those big bidders don't need Facebook ads to get people in the door. They don't need the advertisement.
Right. So Walmart doesn't need to advertise,
Bingo.
let's say, as much as they normally do, per se. So
Exactly.
that's great.
Exactly. Target's the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Across the board, they pulled ads.
Mm-hmm.
What this means for the everyday small business, your ad costs have dropped significantly.
Mm-hmm.
You can get video views now for a penny,
Wow.
for 3 cents. And this is part of everyone, your audience getting to know you and like you.
Mm-hmm.
So they trust you to buy from you. You want those video views. You're getting people to know you. Because the last thing people respond to is an ad from somebody they've never seen before that says, buy me now. People don't respond to that.
Yeah.
The only area that response becomes even remotely viable is in e-commerce when the economy's good. When people are supposed to be buying like September and October for Christmas.
Right.
Right now, it's not going to work. Right now, you want to build that audience.
So how long
pennies.
would you, yeah,
Pennies.
and that's, how long would you say it takes to build an audience? So if someone's like, okay, I always wanted to, build my business, my side hustle, and okay, I'm going to start on some Facebook ads. I'm not going to ask for a sale yet. What would be your advice to that person as far as building their audience and how long it takes and what they should do?
Yes, that's a great question. And what I want to use an analogy of somebody going to the gym. Because if you go to the gym on a regular basis, you're going to get results. If you post ads on a regular basis, you'll get results. 28 days of posting consistent advertisements. And these can be a blog article that you wrote. This can be a checklist that you want people to go to in exchange for their email address. You can use a messenger ad for that. You can take them to a landing page for that. This can be an article that you peeled offline or that you wrote yourself about your industry, getting people to know you and like you. This can be a quick video of you. Let's say it's a 6-minute or 15-minute video that talks about the benefit of your product. This can be somebody unpackaging your product when they receive it. This can be a testimonial, whether it be in writing or in video. And you know what's really great are handwritten testimonials. Take a picture of that with your camera. Use it for your ad copy.
Yeah, that's true. I have seen some people do that, and that's great. I didn't quite connect the dots, but that is a really great tip. That's
and
awesome.
it's this 28 days of just, let's say you start to run a new ad 2-3 times a week at $1 a day.
Mm-hmm.
And you know within 3 days if people are responding or not. The best thing you could do is before you go out there and sit down and start hitting switches and dials on your ads to create the ad, think through what people will respond to. Actually sit down with pen and paper and write down 12 articles, testimonials, videos that you can do. Set up a schedule for yourself that you're going to do this once every 3 days for the next 28 days. Now, you may not use all 12 of those, because if you've got something that's working, leave it running at $1 a day. And this could be something like a public service announcement.
Mm-hmm.
One of my clients right now, we're putting out public service announcements about the benefit of sleep in the immune system, because we're all worried about the immune system.
Right. Sleep is so important. I'm one of those people. I have to have my 8 hours of sleep. So
Right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like 1 out of 3 Americans don't get good sleep.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it was even more than 1 out of 3, because
it's a problem.
it is.
Yeah. But this is what I would suggest the audience do, is write down 12 ideas for ads.
Okay.
And then set up a schedule for yourself to put those ads out at $1 a day.
Mm-hmm.
And know what, and this way you're going to know what works and what doesn't work.
Right. No, that's great.
And then one of the things I'm doing right now for the world is, like you talked about, Melinda, it takes a while to hone down your niche and your audience and your message, is I'm offering a 4-week online course to focus on just this, creating these messages, making sure that you know how to set up that business.facebook.com account. So you've got an idea at the end of that 4 weeks, what's working for you. And then you invite people to buy from you, because they've already gotten to know, like, and trust you.
Right.
So that 4-week long course, I'm offering it for $97 so that people can have this information. And I'm seeing my colleagues pricing stuff out at $9.97 for a course like this. I couldn't do it, Melinda. It's not fair right now. Too many people need this information. I'm calling up organizations that I used to be a member of and saying, look, I'm doing this for everybody.
Right. Yeah. $97 for 4 weeks. That's amazing.
And it'll be recorded online.
Okay.
Complete with videos, so that people have access to it. Like, let's say we're in course, in class, and your kids need you. That's cool. There's a recording. You can always go back to it.
Right.
And you know what? Once a week, everyone's going to get a chance to talk to me one-on-one, so that if they have questions, if they didn't understand something in that recording, we can get that cleared up quickly. I don't want people to get stuck. I want people to move forward and keep moving forward. Use that list. Keep their message out there. Hone the message. And in the course, we'll talk more deeply about what is that message that people need to hear from you right now.
Mm-hmm.
How are you serving them? How do they know they're being served? How do they know to trust you? And at the end of the 4 weeks, we're going to look at that whole business.facebook.com. And how do you know if that ad's working or not? Is that $1 a day being well spent, or is it not?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then you also teach how to shift.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That shift is so important. Yeah. I love that phrase, don't think, from T. Harv Eker. Don't think. Shift. Just don't think.
That's awesome. I've listened to one of his books, and I probably the one that's the most popular. I can't remember the name of it. And then I made Ryan, my husband, listen to it as well. So that's great that you just quoted him.
Oh, he's the, for me, he's the godfather of self-development.
Yeah, that's great.
Although there are others with that claim to fame. Yeah, that's my personal take on it.
That's okay.
And
they can all, every one of them is amazing in their own right. And I love personal development books. So that is very cool. I will definitely put the information for your course in the show notes if anyone is interested out there. I think it sounds like an amazing deal. Absolutely. There's so many courses that are $1,000 to $2,000. So to be able to get something at this time for $97 that can help move your business forward or start your business is, it sounds like a steal to me. So.
I've designed it so that it's understandable and it keeps people moving forward.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what are some mistakes?
I have a Bitly link, if that's okay for me to share the Bitly link with the audience.
Oh, of course.
Okay. Yeah. Bitly is BIT. That's B as in boy, I as in India, T as in tango, .ly. That's L as in Lima and Y as in yellow. So B is in, I guess B is Bravo in the military speak. Bravo, India, tango, Lima, yellow, / the number 3. And this is all lowercase. B is in Bravo, O is in Oscar, P is in pants, M is in Mary, capital R, I lied, capital R is in Ralph, and lowercase s is in Sam.
How did they think of all those letters? O-P-R-S. Like, what does that mean? Bot missions? So,
I love it, Melinda. How do you think of all those letters?
How'd they come up with that combo? That's where my brain goes.
Yeah.
How'd they think of that?
Yeah.
Also, do you want to share some mistakes people make too? Just so I think that just happens and people go, oh, I didn't even think that could be something I either missed or could have been doing better.
Yeah. One of the most common mistakes I see being made is using stock photos.
Oh, okay.
These stock photos are fantastic. The best ones out there are Getty, Getty. You know what? When you're advertising, people respond to a native looking image. If you're a coach, get a picture of yourself sitting on your couch. Get a picture of you sitting at a coffee table. Don't do the stock photo fun mom thing. If you're a product, if you're promoting a product, get your own pictures of that product.
Yeah.
I hired a friend to get pictures of her with one of my clients' products because the client kept telling me, I don't have time. I said, I'll fix this. Another mistake I see being made is leaving ads running when they should have been stopped.
Oh, God, especially since you said the name of the business.facebook.com and it's easy to probably adjust and pivot.
Yes.
You see people just letting it go anyways. Wow.
Yeah. They're like, oh, yeah, I set up my ad, I'm done. Doesn't work like that. You've got to watch that baby every day. At least turn your computer on and know what to look at. It's going to take you 3 minutes. Yeah, turn on that business.facebook.com, go right to your ad set and look at it. Some people just let it go for like a month and then they're surprised when Facebook takes money out of their account.
Yeah, and they have no results.
Exactly. Yeah. And their complaint is Facebook ads don't work.
Yeah, and they weren't managing it.
Right, right. The third item I would say that the third most common mistake I see is actually going to, and we talked a little bit about this, is just setting up the ad without any thought behind it. No message. Buy now. 10% off. That I would say is the third biggest mistake that people make. And Facebook doesn't mind because they're happy to
take your money.
Yeah. You know, it's
yeah, Mark's not sitting there going, oh, yep, you didn't check, so we'll cut you a deal this month.
they yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned that about stock photos. I started Instagram and Facebook only a year ago, so it's very late to the party. And
which, you know what? I wouldn't even say you're late to the party. I say congratulations for jumping in.
Oh, well, thank you. I never thought of it that way. I'm always like, oh, I'm so late. I don't have gazillions of followers and all that stuff. It's just been interesting to watch all the curation. So you have the people, the influencers that have these really, really curated photos. Mm-hmm. And you have to remind yourself that they have a team and they're doing this or whatever, and they put money behind it. And then there's me. I think I'm like in the middle to, in terms of, I'm definitely not in that curation bucket. I'm kind of just like an average person. Let's put it that way. And then I started writing on medium.com about a month ago. And all the writers use stock photos. And that's what they encourage. It's very fascinating. So the first couple articles that I wrote, I used my own photos. Good ones I liked. They weren't, I thought they were decent. I'm obviously not a photographer like, a real photographer.
Hey, if that's the beauty of a native photo. It doesn't have to be perfect.
But now I'm using stock because everyone else does. And it's a weird.
Don't follow the crowd.
Yeah. I've been following the crowd. So it's interesting you said that. And I'm also very curious to see if the writers start to change and start to use some of their own photos. But I've been reading lots of the articles and supporting the community, and every single person I see does stock photos. It's very interesting to me.
Be different. One of the biggest advertisers that shook up the mattress industry was the Purple mattress.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
The Purple mattress, they did advertisements. First of all, they use the color purple. Who's seen a purple mattress?
I know, that's really fun though.
Yeah, isn't it?
Like Seth Godin's Purple Cow.
Exactly. And and then they took things like they put an egg between the mattress and the box springs or something like that, and they had people lay on it, and the egg didn't break.
Oh, wow!
So thinking out of the box, being different. And Seth Godin will tell you the same thing. Be different.
Be different. Yeah.
Stand out. Mm-hmm. Gary Vee, jab, 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 hook. Mm-hmm. Those jabs is information going out. Information, knowledge, sharing those public service announcements, talking to them like you know them, and talking like you're having a cup of coffee with them. Mm-hmm. And then that hook is, they believe you. They've engaged with you. They trust you. They're buying from you. Mm-hmm. The hook is, by the way, I have this. It's a conversation, and it's a long conversation.
Right.
Yeah. So ditch those stock photos, girlfriend.
Yeah, seriously. No, it's very funny. It's funny as, I consider myself, I'm not a Gary Vee, right? So I'm looking for information.
We're all something in training.
Yeah, I'm in training. I'm reading. I'm learning. I'm adjusting. I'm sharing.
And congratulations for getting started.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
And then I start, on Medium, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe now I feel like I'm taking some steps backwards with these stock photos. So yeah, it was just very, and I appreciate your insight and encouragement. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
It continues to be a journey. So anything else you'd love to share with the audience? And I definitely want you to share how they can connect with you. And as I mentioned before, I'll put all of this in the show notes. And I just really appreciate you being on the podcast. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Melinda. The honor's mine. I love helping people and talking about what I do because so many people have so many questions about it. You can get in contact with me at my email is Theresa with an H, THERESA @rightawayleads.com. My other opportunity is if people want to talk to me one-on-one, is go to my Calendly link. It's calendly.com/Theresa Pantanella. That's a fun one. TheresaPantanella/30MIN for minutes, MIN.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the bit.ly link for learning more about the course, bit.ly/3, lowercase B as in boy, O, P as in Paul, M as in Mary, capital R as in Ralph, and lowercase S as in Sam, for people to know more about the 4-week course. We're going to be kicking that off April 1st. Oh my gosh, it's in a week, Melinda.
I know. That's why I forgot to ask you too. I was like, I wonder when he's kicking this off. I know. Isn't that crazy? April 1st is around the corner. So
yeah. And you know what? It's when people say everything's close to the end of March, I'm like, it's only 10 days away. Now it's only like 6 days away.
Yeah, now it's 6 days away. So that's awesome.
And I want to
again, very, very generous of you at that price point, because definitely other courses are much more pricier, so much more expensive.
I just think it's important to give right now, because by now we all know we've got to help each other out. It's like President John Kennedy said, it's not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. And I feel like this is my contribution.
Yeah.
In this crazy time that we have. And by now your audience knows online ads. It's a great time to advertise. It's a great time to boost your sales with using online ads and getting to know your clients, to know you and like you and trust you, and building them up.
Yeah.
So
and
that
the
they buy
people
from
that
you.
are using this time wisely in terms of studying, researching, connecting, all those things.
Yes.
Including building an audience, building their ads, working on that. Those are the people that'll come out ahead versus people that are just kind of sitting around. So
Right. And you know what? When you're building that mind up, absolutely. And online ads, people they're online. They don't have much else to do. Here's the way I'm looking at it. If I was able to get results of like a 1,500% increase in website visits in 30 days for clients before this happened, right now things are just exploding. Because if I was able to do that for my clients before this crisis happened and before more people were online, now it's going to be even easier.
Right.
Even easier. Absolutely. Right. And that's what's the opportunity that's there for everybody right now. I did my Facebook Live yesterday, and there was like 400 people.
That's amazing.
I know.
Wow. I'm going to have to backtrack and watch it. Wow.
I was like, and that has not happened, Melinda. You could appreciate this being in the Keys since the hurricane last September.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
People were at home.
Yeah.
So this is a key opportunity for listeners to get out there, and to do it right, to really hone your skills. It's only $97 for my class. Contact me on my Calendar link if you need to. And I want to affirm your decision, Melinda, for jumping in there and getting started. And this opportunity is there for everybody to jump in and get started. Because online ads, man, it's like the whole world is rolled back to like day one of Facebook of being out there.
Yeah, and seeing more of a blue ocean. That's amazing.
Right. Well, and you know what most people ask me is, how do I run an Instagram ad? You run it through Facebook. That business.facebook.com, that's where you run your Instagram ad from.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, another tip. Thank you. I didn't know that either. That's awesome.
My pleasure.
Yeah, very cool.
My pleasure.
Well,
I believe in teaching until the very end.
Yeah, I love it. That's great. I know. And I'm like, I try to be, I could talk to you forever. And it's like, I try to be mindful of everybody's time with podcasts and everything. So, but I appreciate that extra little tidbit. That is fantastic. Thank you.
My pleasure. I want everyone to be safe out there, be profitable, go make money.
Yeah. That's awesome. Very cool. Well, thanks again, Theresa. I appreciate you so much and your time. Thank you.
My honor. My pleasure. Thanks, Melinda.
Bye.
Bye now.
Well, I hope you love that podcast as much as I did. I have 2 pages of notes. I just listened to it again to make sure I captured everything, and I will do my best to put this all in the show notes so you can easily reach out to Theresa for her course that starts again on April 1st. It is $97 for a 4-week course to jumpstart your business, level up, however you want to look at it. But let's use these next 30 days wisely and take advantage of this time that you all have and Facebook ad prices dropping, and do it. Get out there and do it. I appreciate you guys listening, especially right now. I know a lot of people are at home with their families and it might be a little tough versus people commuting and being able to go to the gym. So stay safe, everyone. Please follow me on Instagram. It's Melinda_Van Feel free to reach out to me, melinda@melindavanfleet.com. I would love a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And please share with a friend, family member, or coworker. Until next time, I hope you crush in sales. Thanks again.